I wanted to do a tutorial with Panolapse to demonstrate how to add a zoom effect to time-lapse videos. I had a sequence, this sequence here that I shot back in January under the Sunset Beach Pier, and I wasn't really happy with it. Just had a bunch of stuff going on. Initially it was done as a Star Trail sequence, but I had another photographer start firing off speed light about 10 minutes after I started it, and he started washing out the foreground, and it really looked weird. It also had a greenish glow in here from a security light. Did not like that, and these clouds started rolling in, so it really kind of screwed up my my Star Trail sequence. I converted it to black and white to get rid of the greenish glow, but it still didn't. You know, you can see it looks nice, but it's still not, it's not exactly what I wanted. I decided to see if I could do something with Panolapse, and ended up realizing it was an ideal candidate for a zoom, because you can zoom straight down the bottom of that pier into the center. It's a really nice effect. I shot it at 14 millimeters, and I went into 35 millimeters and 50 millimeter zoom. I tried both to see which one was going to look the best. Ended up going with 35. 50 is just a little bit too much. It's a 250 shot sequence that I took about 70 minutes to shoot, 15-minute exposures with 2-second intervals. I use Panolapse 360. This is the program that allows you to add motion, panning motion, zoom, deflicker to time-lapse videos. So free download, and it allows you to export, I think, up to 1280 by 720. If you want higher resolution, you can pay the $79 for the upgrade. My only caution is that right now it doesn't appear that the website of the software is having a lot of updates, so it may or may not be supported, and if you got any issues with it, you may or may not be able to get support on those. So it's one thing that I really want to caution you on. Once you open it up, we're going to import photos into Panolapse, and we're going to navigate to where the images are. We're going to load all 250 of them, and it's going to determine you got a 14 millimeter focal length. Crop factor is 1, because I shot it on a full frame. Everything else is good, and it's going to load them and generate previews that will allow you to kind of play in and look at your video as it goes along. So it gives you a list of your images and sets up keyframes. The first one and the last one are default keyframes, and we're going to choose the first one. I'm going to enable zoom because I'm not going to do any panning with this one. I'm going to leave that one at 14 because that's where I'm starting, and down here at my final keyframe, I'm going to change that one to 35, and you can see how that zooms it in. If you want to take a look at it, give you a little preview there. And then we're going to export the frames. It shows you what it'll export them out to. It shows you, please note, this trial version is limited. I'm not going to do any deflicker. I'm going to export it in JPEG, and it asks you where your output folder is. And once you get all that set up, you're going to render for Q and then render all. It starts the rendering sequence, show you how much time it's going to take. I'm going to stop it because it takes about 5 minutes, and I've already got this rendered out. Once you get that done, you're going to want to open up your time-lapse assembler program, whichever one you use. I use this as Time-lapse Assembler. It's a free download, and I'll put a link below. It's a really neat little program. You find the source directory, make sure that you choose whichever codecs you want, frame rate, resize. You're going to click encode, and it's going to ask you what you want to name it and where you want to put it. And since I've already done all that, I'm going to show you the first one, where we're going from. Where we are now. I think that's much nicer time lapse. It's got motion to it, not just the motion of the waves and the stars and the clouds, but it's drawing you into that point at the end of the pier. So that's time lapse with zoom using Panolapse 360. please make sure to like and subscribe to my channel. You can also follow me on Instagram and Facebook. Thanks for watching.